So, who are you? Have you ever really stopped and given it thought? Who are you? If your friends were asked to describe you, to describe your character, what would they say? Beyond the good times, the fun times you have together, if it came to actually describing the content of your character, your personhood, what would your friends say of you? What would family members say of you? And that, would they be right or would they be wrong? Or you don't know? You see, it's not something you should worry about if you don't know who you are yet. Sometimes it's not the kind of thing people avert their minds to, like sit down and start thinking, okay, who am I? Not too many people, you're too busy trying to go from one day to the next to bother with things like that. You just take each day as it comes. You deal with the challenges as they present themselves and roll with the punches and just try to make it through life. But then it's a question worth asking. Who are you? Does your perception of who you are in your mind align with the person people see? Does it? Or do you think you're one way, but everybody else thinks you're the other way? It's an intriguing question, really. It's quite intriguing. Who am I? Who am I? Even I don't really have the answer yet. I think I have a vague idea, but I'm not 100% sure I'm comfortable with the answer I get yet. Who are you? Have you ever stopped to think about that for yourself? You see, as we proceed through this journey of life, especially, at our young age, in our youth, many of us look for, maybe even subconsciously, we begin to latch onto certain personalities that we have placed on a pedestal, and we begin to look up to them. We aspire to be like them because of the perception we have of who they are, which might be right or wrong, but that's the public perception we have of them. For instance, I know that there are quite a number of people who idolize greats like Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and so on and so forth. But if we were able to live with these people from one day to the next and see them dealing with the everyday situations, the mundane things, the way they relate to people, and so on and so forth, would we still have them on that pedestal? Mandela is idolized by many people across the world because of the perception of who he was in the fight against apartheid in South Africa. But I understand that there are quite a number of South Africans that are not particularly fond of him. But on the global stage, he's, a hero. Then sometimes some of us idolize, stars in the entertainment industry. We like how we think they're living their lives. They have all this wealth. They're living the good life. They buy what they want to buy, go where they want to go, hang out with who they want to hang out. They can afford the most expensive holiday lifestyles and such, and we want that for ourselves. We aspire to that. But do we know the real person? Do we know the real story? Whether you are, whatever age you are, and these are just my views, like I always say, The way I look at it is this: whatever you're aspiring to, or whoever it is you idolize or hero worship, there's nothing wrong with that. We need mentors. But don't lose your persona, don't lose yourself trying to be another person. Especially for those of us who are particularly fond of the stars, people in the entertainment industry. Many of these people live their lives out in the media in a way that fills their pockets. So those shenanigans, all the high drama and all that thing you see, at the end of the day gets monetized. Yeah, and in their private lives, they might actually have a more sedate lifestyle. Who knows? They might not be quite as dramatic as what you see on TV, on social media, on their websites or their vlogs or blogs and so on and so forth. Those are all streams of income. And if they think that getting gregarious and doing outrageous things will put more money in their pocket, hey, it's a dog world out there. Everybody needs to make money and there's bills to be paid. Yeah? But it's so easy, even for these stars, to forget that as they live out their lives, there are people out there who fantasize living similar lifestyles, forgetting or perhaps not even being aware that what they see in the media is not a true projection of what's going on in that particular person's real life situation off the camera. And there are many people who don't care, really. I mean, they never asked anybody to idolize them. They know it'll probably happen, but it's not like they're going out there holding a gun to anybody's head and asking to be idolized. So they could be like, well, whatever. And they're living their lives, and you're here, you know, you want to copy their hairdo, you want to copy their makeup, you want to copy their dressing and all this because you like them so much, you like the picture of success they project. And you come from a home of 12, not counting cousins and other extended family members. And you're trying to live a lifestyle that you can't afford because you've refused to avert your mind to the reality that these people are entertainers and that's how they make their money. And even if it's not the entertainers that you idolize or hero worship or whatever, every other person you have put on a pedestal has a backstory. Not everybody can live up to the hype. In fact, I think very few can. Beneath what you see on TV, on social media, there's a real and usually very flawed person beneath all of that. Which is why it's so important not to lose yourself. Don't lose yourself trying to be somebody else. You can pick one or two things that you think if you applied to your own life, you know, could be a step in the right direction. Is there a certain philosophy your hero espouses that you want to apply to your own life? You know, after all, I'm not saying that they're necessarily, that the philosophy by which some of these people live is necessarily bad, especially people like the Mahatma Gandhis and the Mandelas of this world. I'm just saying that even as, you know, as you respect them, as you try to emulate them, remember that they're human beings and they are therefore flawed. And if you place them on too high a pedestal, when or if they come tumbling down, you're left with nothing to grasp onto. So you owe yourself a duty to stay true to who you are. And that is why it is important to know, who am I? Who am I really at crunch time, when nobody else is there, when I could do things and that I could get away with, when I'm not under scrutiny, when there's nobody looking over my shoulder, who am I? When there's nobody to assess me, to reward or punish me, who am I? When does my real self come out? Am I always putting on an act to please people? Am I being true to myself? And if I'm being true to myself, is myself a good thing to be true to? Am I a mean, nasty, cold-hearted person that needs to change? For my own good, not for any other person, for my own good. The persona I've managed to project, does it tally with who I actually am behind closed doors? Have I somehow falsified who I am, knowingly or unknowingly? And if so, if it's knowingly, why? Is it because I'm so uncomfortable with my real self? You see, when you already know who you are grounded. You are grounded. You know your limits. You know what you can do, what you cannot do. You know what you can take, what you would give back, the extent to which you can be pushed, and so on. And that helps you in your engagement with others. You know when to walk away. You know when to stay. You know when to push forward, because you know who you are. What's your level of perseverance in face of hardship? How much discipline do you have in the times of plenty and enjoyment? Are you the kind of person for whom every fad must be obeyed? Yeah? So if your friend has 2 cars, you have to have at least 2, possibly 3. Are you in constant competition when nobody even knows there's a contest ongoing? Who are you? You see, no matter how good that person is that you're trying to be like, you would only be a copy. You could never be the genuine article. Ponder that. You cannot be a clone of this person. So why not be your best self? Be your best self. Work constantly on self-improvement, self-development. Who was I yesterday? Who am I today? And how can I be better tomorrow? This is what I was doing wrong yesterday. Is there a way I can avoid doing it today and tomorrow? If there is something I'm doing right, is there any way I can improve on it? How can I be my best self? Even if I borrow bits and pieces here and there from different people. Yeah, we don't live in a vacuum. You know, you're bound to be influenced by people that you surround yourself with, or the kinds of information you imbibe. It will influence you. But even as you're being influenced by these external forces, so to speak, if you stay true to who you are, you grow. If you stay true to the cause of always living your best life or projecting your best self, even in times of hardship, you find yourself becoming a better person with each passing day. So that when people who haven't met you meet you 5 years later, they're like, whoa, she used to be really arrogant and selfish. I didn't even know she was the same person. She's changed. You should always be looking at how you can be better than who you were yesterday, regardless of what influences are around you, regardless of who you really would love to be like. like I said, that is only a perception of who you think that person is most of the time. And it's sometimes it's a polar opposite of who they are behind closed doors. So who are you? How are you looking at improving yourself every day? How are you looking at taking steps to self-development and self-growth with each passing day? How are you adding value to who you are with each passing day? Are you really a better person this year than you were last year? Are you the same person? Why? And if you're the same person, is that for good? What are those good things about yourself that you must guard jealously? And what are those bad things about yourself that you need to find a way to quickly discard? Because they're not serving you any purpose. They're not helping you in any way. They're pulling you back. Each of us should constantly be at war with our old selves as we journey toward becoming new and better people.